I'm just about to start to work on these rust holes now. I was just going to film them for a second so you can see what it looks like. I'll do some grinding and then I'll be right back. Okay, it looks like I've got a problem that I didn't think I originally had. One of the guys on the Alex Facebook page warned me about some rust inside here that we really can't see. So I had a look underneath behind the glove box and underneath the steering wheel here. And it appears we've got some rust holes going right through, which will leak water out into the floor and the carpet, and we can't have that. So it looks like this whole panel is going to have to come off. I'm going to go do a little bit of research to see exactly what I've got to do, but basically I think I'm just going to follow this join all the way around, unpick it all the way, take it off, replace the steel that has to be replaced, treat it, weld it back on, and then hopefully everything should be okay. Anyway, I'm going to do some research and then I'll get stuck into it. Okay, I've got the panel off. Found a few rust holes. I've got here, a few here. I'll replace that piece. And on the driver's side, you can see a little bit. I've got a few repairs to do on the top panel here where the rust holes were around the windscreen. There shouldn't be a drama. And I really want to take this off in one piece, with cutting it through here, but it was going to be a bugger, it just didn't want to come off, so I thought I'd take the easy way out and just slice it off. Now I'll have to repair these rust holes, clean it up, treat it, and then put the cover back on. Cleaned it up a bit, you can see the extent of the rust, which is getting more and more every time I look at it. Basically, all this area now is going to have to be replaced. What else? A few more holes here, little section there, and across the other side, a few more holes over there. Okay, I've almost finished some more rust repair patches. I've got these, I've just bent up. I put some weld through primer on the back of them. It's the back that you can see here now. I've got this one here, I still have to weld this on. I'm going to do that in a minute. And I sent these panels off to get sandblasted, and they've been two-pack etch primed and undercoated. Got a few little rust holes here which I'll fix later on today, and with a bit of luck I'll be able to get this panel back on there, so I'll check back in. Okay, I finally got these patches welded in, as you can see. A couple over here, all done. I've just got to make sure there's no pinholes. I'll clean them up a little bit, give them a bit of a grind, and I'm not too worried about how they look because all this bit's going to be covered, but it's just as long as the water doesn't get through. I'm going to treat this, then I can finally weld the cover on. Cover's over here. I've just got to do a couple of little repairs on that, and hopefully later tonight or tomorrow I can weld that on, and then this whole section will be done. Okay, I finished putting all my patches in, finally. And just as a final check, I turned all the lights out, put the torch underneath the dash, and probably can't see it, but right there, there's two little pinholes, which I didn't see until the until I put the torch underneath and let the light come through. So I'm just going to plug them up now. Just use oxy to plug them up, and then I'm going to clean this up, and I'm going to treat inside it with this product here, KB's Chassis Coater Kit. Comes with a cleaner, it's basically a degreaser, then a rust treatment, and then you got your paint. And basically, if any of you are familiar with POR 15, this is the equivalent to that. It's made here in Australia, and so I prefer to buy things that are made in Australia. So anyway, I'm going to weld these holes and I'll be straight back. Okay, I've cleaned all this area out with a wire brush, or wire wheel, as in this. And I've just mixed up the cleaner, AquaClean, 1 part AquaClean to 1.5 parts water. And then all we do is just give it a little spray everywhere. And we've got to keep this wet. Keep putting it on, and the other side. This is going to remove any grease and other contaminants that might be on the metal. I'll let that sit for a while. Now I'm going to help the cleaner along with one of these Scotch Brights. You can get them from any paint supply shops. Just to help the cleaner get right in. I'll do this to the whole area here, then I'll probably give it another squirt and then we'll clean it off. Okay, I've rinsed off all the cleaner, and now we're going to apply the Rust Blast, which I believe is some sort of acid. And all you do with that is just spray it on, nice and easy, and just don't let it dry out. If you see it starting to dry out, then you have to just keep reapplying it and keep it wet. With the first process of putting the cleaner on, I believe if you get it sandblasted you don't need to do it, but I would just say do it anyway because you'll have fingerprints and stuff in there, and it's just better just to clean it and be safe. Okay, I'm just about to paint my first coat. Very important when you're using this stuff not to shake it. You have to stir it, and stir it in a lifting motion like that. If you shake it you get air bubbles in it, and then the air bubbles will stay in the paint, and the paint won't, you won't get as good a coat, and you get the risk of moisture getting through it. So just make sure you stir it, and then paint it on in a nice even coat with a little brush. It's a shitty little brush, but this is the brush they give you. I'll put this first coat on and see how it goes. That's the first coat done. Now just let that dry, and I'll put another 1 or 2 coats on after this, and she'll be ready for the top to go back on. Something important I forgot to mention is when you finish this product, don't put the lid back on and just put it away. What you're going to have to do is get some Glad wrap, put a piece of Glad wrap across the top, and then put the lid on. If you put the lid back on now and then put it away, you'll never get the lid off again. So just something to keep in mind. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I've got the oxy out and I've plugged up these holes here. So I've just got to use the grinder on it a little bit to clean it up, and then that'll be almost ready to go on. All done. Rust is all gone. And now I'll give this panel another coat, and hopefully I can get this cover back on tomorrow. I'll see how I go. Before you start welding things in, it's best to do a test fit. That's what I'm doing here. And I'm having to shape the metal a little bit where it's not quite fitting. Yeah, so I'm just going to make sure it's all right. When I know it's going to fit perfect, I'll take this off again, I'll paint the back of it, then I'll start welding it back on again. I've finally got the panel in position. I've just tacked it on this side. I used the G-clamp to pull it across, and I've tacked it into this side. And now I'm going to put a few more tacks, clamp it throughout the middle, and then I can start welding it all the way around. Okay, I've just run out of gas on my MIG, so I've had to stop, but I'm pretty much 99% done. About 90 odd spot welds and the 2 end welds here, and it's in. All done. Once I get the car sandblasted, then I'll put seam sealer throughout here, just so no moisture will get up under in between these 3 layers of steel here. And otherwise, this is another part done, and on to the next job. A couple of quick things to finish this video off with. I forgot to mention earlier that throughout this seam on both sides, I put weld through zinc primer on it. That's the can right there. It's very important to stop rust from coming back again. Also, with the KB's rust seal, I decided I'm going to use this product on all the underneath of the car, from the diff, K-frame, chassis rails, everything. It's not going to give it a showroom finish, but it's not going to be a show car anyway, so I'm not too worried. It'll still look good because I'm going to spray it on, so it'll still look nice. And it'll protect the underneath of the car. I won't have to worry about rust coming back again, which is a good thing. And if anyone wants to use the KB's rust seal and they have trouble finding it, in the northern suburbs of Melbourne, it can be found at Northern Auto Paint Supplies in Truck City Drive, Camberfield. Not sure if that's clear and you can read it, but otherwise just Google it and I'm sure it'll come up many locations around Australia. That's about it for part 2 of my videos, and now I'll get to work on part 3.